All right, everybody, how's it going? It is yours truly. Now, we're going to be talking about this old man for a second who got taught a lesson in the CHAZ zone, but it's not just any ordinary old man. It was the Yankee Marshall, one of my fellow contemporaries here on YouTube. He's a gun channel, and he ends up meandering around like a goofball through the CHAZ zone, and he gets slapped around a little. So let's just go ahead and watch.
But most of this is not done well. Stuff like this on the road, that don't bother me at all. That'll wear away. I hope what they're standing for is more important than there's some of the Black Lives Matter people. I don't know what the red Soviet star on the hat's for, what they think they're saying with that. I wouldn't support that at all. Nope. Why? That's not a cop pin. That's not a cop. You're going to be in trouble. Why are you starting trouble with someone who's trying to be an ally? Why are you doing that?
Because you're wearing fucking police pins.
It's not a fucking police pin. Read it. Okay. It's for animal shelter rescue.
All right. Oh, move along.
So that's what you're upset about? Someone who works for animal rescue?
Get the fuck out of my face, bro. Stop talking
This
to
is
me.
a public place.
Stop talking to me right now.
It's a public place.
I guess he's got a point.
I got a point.
I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what he's
You got a problem? What's
Get
your
the fuck
name?
out
Who
my
are you
face.
with?
Yeah, well,
Get the fuck out my face.
Dude, I'm right here in a public place. I'm looking to come with a positive image.
Take one more step.
And you want to
Take one more step.
Take a swing at it.
Hey, let's break it up. Let's just back up.
Intimidation game
guys.
ain't gonna work.
Let's just back up, all right? Come on now. Everybody's too upset. Everybody needs to be back up. It's cool.
It is. They have signs there where don't record people.
Don't pull up on me
I'll take
recording me.
pictures of this.
Just let it go, man. We don't need any more violence. Look it.
You
I
did.
didn't even look at you. I don't even know
We don't
who
need
you
any more
are.
violence, right? No more violence, right? Am I right?
And you want to come up here and act like this? This is what you want to be?
Don't record people, bro.
This is what you want to be?
Look, dude, just move along.
I ain't going nowhere. It's
No
fucking
more violence.
my street is much as it is his.
Shit.
No, I'm not taking you anywhere. If I have to, I will. You want to bring someone up to have your food, that's fine. Like I said, I came up here, I've been a fucking ally to everything going on here. No, why do you assume opposite?
All right, well, let's watch your video.
Showing everybody.
Let's watch your video.
You want to see what I get every day?
You just recorded.
You want to see what I got every day? Hold on. I don't know how to turn this off.
Yikes. Now, I'm not one to be gleeful at someone else's misfortune, but I can't help but, laugh at you and mock you for going into the CHAZ zone with the intent to make these violent Black Lives Matter ideologues look good. To basically proclaim your allegiance to these violent thugs. It's hard to have sympathy for somebody who gets slapped around like the dork that they are. It just goes to show that Yankee Marshall doesn't know what the fuck he's doing or what he's talking about. Trying to appease these thugs, trying to, basically proclaim he's an ally. He's an ally. He's on their side. Yeah, we've heard that before, and it didn't work out so well now, did it? So let's go ahead and talk about some recent events pertaining to the CHAZ zone. For the most part, this nightmare is over. So Seattle Police Chief, we're not able to get to 911 calls for rapes, robberies in the autonomous zone. So just to put things in perspective, I just want to I highlighted this important part here, but I just want to let everyone know, this is who the Yankee Marshall was defending. This is who he wants to make look good and help out. On Wednesday, the Seattle Police Department said it would try to reopen the East Precinct, and Best, the police chief, that's her name, was able to visit the location on Thursday. Our call for service have more than tripled. She told reporters, these are responses to emergency calls, rapes, robberies, and all sorts of violent acts that have been occurring in the area that we're not able to go to. So they're not able to go there because these violent thugs have barricaded a lot of the city. They are armed and they are preventing emergency services from providing emergency services, fire, medical, etc., etc. It's a war zone. It's described as a war zone. Now there's a class action lawsuit against their idiot mayor of Seattle and in the city in general because of the violence that has been allowed to ensue. And again, the legacy media, the corporate media is trying to spin this event as, oh, it's a summer of love. It's a summer of love. It's all peaceful. You know, diversity is our strength. There's nothing to see here. It's just like, never mind the body count. A lot of people have died. A lot of people have died. Businesses have suffered gravely at the hands of these violent Black Lives Matter activist thugs. And, you know, one of the people who suffered at the hands of these thugs is the Yankee Marshall because he's an idiot. Now, and I'm saying this out of love. You know, I'm glad that he's okay. I'm glad they didn't fuck him up too badly. But I can't help but kind of laugh. You know, I can't help but think you brought this upon yourself. You're meddling in the affairs of these people, and you clearly do not understand their ideology. You clearly don't understand their mission or their racial animus towards people who are white and straight and male and old, like the Yankee Marshall. So it continues. Let's go ahead and what else do we have here? So Seattle police clear the chop zone finally and make arrests after mayor orders protesters to leave. So police in Seattle converged on the city's protest zone early Wednesday, making arrests and sweeping through the streets that demonstrators occupied for weeks to protest police brutality and systemic racism, which isn't real. You know, the sad thing about the clearing out of the CHAZ zone, besides the laughs, they're gone. This is what it took to get the city to act, to get off their ass and remove these losers, get these bums off the street. Somebody ended up doxing the mayor. Apparently, the mayor's privacy is quite secured until somebody, I guess, who's involved in government ended up doxing her. So they ended up showing up to the mayor's house. Now, all of a sudden, you know, all that summer of love crap flies out the window. And so as soon as they go for these ideologues who are in office, as soon as they go for them, as soon as they show up and bring their crap to their doorstep, then all of a sudden they get the police to get off their asses and remove these bums. So it continues. So 25 arrests made during overnight protests after Seattle police dismantled CHOP. So this was published on July 1st, and it was updated July 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So a total of 25 people were arrested overnight in the area of Broadway and East Pine as protesters continued after police dismantled the Capitol Hill organized protest zone, CHOP. Police used blast balls and pepper spray while making an arrest after people in the crowd began throwing bottles at officers, according to the department. Oh, I thought they were peaceful. You know, the corporate multinational media, the fake news industry was trying to tell me that these guys were peaceful. And it was a summer of love. Oh, of course it is. So yeah, they cleared it out. They got rid of all the rats. They sent them pest control to deal with the rat problem. Hopefully, the normalcy will ensue, but it's not likely. But this is really what I really wanted to talk about. So Seattle, one teen killed and another injured in shooting in the police-free zone. It's funny that they don't mention the race of the victim here, because I'm led to believe that Black Lives Matter. Well, a 14-year-old youth who was a black male was murdered. They shot these kids. These kids appear to be unarmed, and they were shot. So a 16-year-old is dead, and a 14-year-old is in critical condition. Oh, I think I got those ages mixed up. In the latest of the series of shootings inside Seattle's self-proclaimed police-free zone, known as the Capitol Hill organized protest, initially home to hundreds of peaceful protesters. Yeah, right. In the last 10 days, 4 other people were shot in the area. Peaceful, home to peaceful protesters, including a 19-year-old man who was killed. The violence has left some officials seriously questioning the safety of the encampment and looking to take steps to dismantle it. Officers said in a police blog that at about 3 a.m. on Monday, a white Jeep Cherokee SUV was reported near a chopped concrete barrier that surrounds the protest area. Several unidentified people then fired shots into the vehicle. 2 injured individuals, presumably the occupants of the Jeep, were then taken to a Harborview Medical Club, blah, 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 blah. All right, so again, I can read this whole thing. I already did. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but these young kids were allegedly joyriding in the chop zone, and they were shot hundreds of times. One of them is dead. The other one is in critical condition. We don't know if they're going to make it. I'm praying that the kid's going to be okay. It seems like they were just fucking around in the chop zone, and they weren't really associated with the violence and the nonsense protests that's been ensuing for quite some time here. But, you know, the individual is black. I'm led to believe that, you know, Black Lives Matter. You know, where's the outrage against these Antifa thugs, the Black Lives Matter activist thugs, these Marxists, these trained Marxists, these self-proclaimed trained Marxists? You know, where's the outrage here? You know, and it's just like we're told that certain lives matter. But when certain individuals get killed by another group of individuals who are very bad and they have a nefarious motive, the media is silent. And it's so funny. These people are running around with guns and they are, you know, brutalizing the residents of Seattle. They're not called terrorists. They're called peaceful protesters. They're hailed by their mayor. The mayor is running interference for them, just like the Yankee Marshall was running interference for these violent thugs. Why? But if you're a conservative, if you're a Christian, and you're protesting the unconstitutional lockdowns, then you're public enemy number one. You're literally being branded as a terrorist. My governor, the shitty governor of Nevada, is mocking and basically saying the same things about other Christian conservatives who ended up protesting outside his house. They were peaceful. Conservatives aren't killing people. They're not setting fire to entire city blocks. But these Black Lives Matter activist thugs are doing that. And it's just so funny to see the discrepancy here, to see the hypocrisy, to see the unfairness in the reporting of two similar events but totally different at the same time. So you have the two protests, right? You have the lockdown protests. The people who are protesting the unconstitutional lockdowns, they are bastards. They were called racial slurs, but it's a fashionable racism, so it's okay. They're called terrorists, cousin fuckers, science deniers. They're basically called murderers because of them being outside protesting. Apparently they're murdering grandma. But if you're literally shooting people, raping people, You're a peaceful protester. It's the summer of love. Disgusting, utterly disgusting. Nothing but hypocrites in the legacy media. The modern left is disgusting for running cover and running interference for these thugs. This is likely why Trump is going to win his re-election. And I'm going to be voting for him. I'm going to be supporting him. I'm a registered Democrat. And I'm going to be supporting the President of the United States because of the hypocrisy of the DNC. The fact that the DNC cannot denounce violence, illegal activities like rapes and robberies is testament to the entire country that they are not fit to serve. Plain and simple. And this is why I get so up in arms against people like the Amazing Atheist. I don't want to beat this dead horse, but it's just like, dude, you're rooting on people who are destroying my home. I live in a sanctuary city. I can be a recipient of this violence. I am likely to be a recipient of this violence. Not everybody is going to be, though, who's watching this and who's watching other content creators like myself. I just want to put things in perspective. The statues they destroy, we can rebuild them. The buildings they destroy, we can rebuild them. Please avoid the violent thugs. Avoid these violent thugs. Worry about yourself. I know it's distressing to see them destroy monuments of our great American heroes to rip apart our American heritage, but we can rebuild it. We can clean up the mess that these thugs make. Don't put yourself in a terrible situation where you might have to defend yourself, where you might get killed, like the Yankee Marshall. Freaking idiot, man. You're an idiot, dude. What's wrong with this guy? Defending these rapists, these murderers, these looters. Absolutely reprehensible. I don't stand for it. I support the police. I support the troops. I support the veterans. I support all business owners who just want to be left alone. I support my president. Trump isn't perfect, and oh boy am I upset with some of the shit that he's done. Like his Second Chance Act, and giving pardons and stuff to these thugs when Americans are suffering. Why don't you do right by the people who got you in office? Me being one of them. I was out there shit posted. Dude, me and all these internet nerds, the only reason why he ended up winning in 2016. We were out there. We were stomping for the Donald. They want to blame the fucking Russians for what we did. Bullshit. Fuck that. But the zone is gone. CHOP is no more. Let's hope that they don't prop up another one, which they're trying to do in New York and in DC. So again, let's pray for peace, guys. No more violence. I hope you're all doing well. God bless. Peace.